Today we are going to see how to fit a normal distribution. So this is type 1, which contains a continuous distribution. We'll have one more type when we are having inclusive distribution. So let's see how we will sit or fit a normal distribution. So this is a question. Question contains a class interval and frequencies given to that class interval. Class intervals are like 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, likewise till 70 to 80, and you can see the frequencies from 4, 22, 48, 66, 40, 16 and 4. So the question asks us, if this is following a normal distribution, what will be the theoretical distribution for each class interval? So for calculating or for fitting a normal distribution, there is various steps. The first step you should follow when you have a question like this is to calculate mean and standard deviation of this given data. Then you should calculate what is a standard normal variate. Then only we could fit a normal distribution. So first of all, let us go for finding the mean and standard deviation. So for finding mean and standard deviation, we know that for every class interval, we can't take the class, we should find what is the midpoint. So the midpoint for each class will be calculated as the following. Adding the 2 class limit and dividing it with 2, that is 10, 10. For the first case, it will be 10 plus 20 divided by 2 will get 15. So we got 15, we got 25. Right, when we add 20 plus 30, we will get 50. 50 divided by 2, it will be 25. Likewise, 70 plus 18 will get a value. When we divide with 2, we will get 75. Right. Likewise, we have calculated all the midpoints. We will consider midpoint as x. Now, for calculating mean, we know that the formula for calculating mean is sigma f divided by sigma fx divided by sigma f. So that means we need sigma fx, that is f into x. So for calculating f into x, we have to multiply the given frequencies with the midpoint. So 4 into 15, 22 into 25, 48 into 35, 66 into 45, 40 into 55, 16 into 65 and 4 into 75. We'll get the values as 60, 550, 1680, 2970, 2200, 1040 and 300. Next step. So this is enough, actually this is enough to calculate the mean, but we know that we have to calculate standard deviation also. So for calculating standard deviation, we need x square and sigma f into x square. So we already know that midpoint is considered as x, and x square will be what? 15 squared, 25 squared, 35 squared, 45 squared and 55 squared, 65 squared, and we know that values will be what? 225, that is 55 square is 225, 25 square is 625, 35 square is 1225, 45 square is 2025, 55 it is 3025. Likewise, we have now calculated what is x square. Now we have to calculate what is fx square, and this is for what? For calculating standard deviation. Now, when you look at these values are a bit huge, right? So since nowadays we are using calculator or if you are using Excel, it will be okay, fine. But if we are doing by hand, you could also use a step deviation method, where you can take deviation from the midpoint and calculate all the values accordingly. Okay. So these are the values of sigma fx square. Now we have to calculate what we call as mean and standard deviation. As I said, mean is sigma fx divided by sigma f. We know that sigma fx, right? Sigma fx in this case it is 8800, and sigma f it is 200, right? So we'll get a value which is 44, and For standard deviation, we have root of sigma fx square. Sigma fx square is 41,8200 divided by sigma f if it is 200 minus sigma fx square. Sigma fx it is 8,800 divided by sigma f, again it is 200 whole square. So we will get in this case 12.44, which is also already given here. So we got mean and standard deviation. The first step or first stage of fitting a normal distribution is over here. Now we have our mean of the given data as 44 and our standard deviation as 12.44. Now we have to fix, or we have to use this standard deviation and mean in fitting normal distribution. Let us move on. Fitting a normal distribution, we know that there is an density function, right? The probability density function of f of x, right? In case of normal distribution, it is 1 divided by root 2 pi into standard deviation. So in this case it is 12.5 into e raised to negative 1 by 2 into x minus mu. In this case mu is 44, we have already calculated the average 44 divided by standard deviation. Here it is 12.5 whole square. So this is actually the density function, the probability density function for a normal distribution. But we are not using this particular probability density function. In fact, we will be first calculating what is the standard normal curve, which we call as Z, and then using the table or using the area from table, we will be calculating the theoretical frequencies. So we need first of all, we need standard normal variate, and for calculating standard normal variate Z. For calculating Z, we know that formula for calculating Z is x minus mu divided by standard deviation. In this case, it will be x minus mu, it is 44 divided by 12.5. So for each value of class limit, we have to calculate the standard normal variate. So when you take class limit, you know that we had class limit from 10 to 20 till we had something till we had 70 to 80. When you take class interval, you take class interval from the lower class interval of first class to the highest class interval of the last class, right? That means we have 10 as the lowest class interval of first class, 10 to 20, right? We have taken 10, and we also have 70 to 80 as our last class interval, and we have this 80 also, so that we could cover all the values in the given class intervals, right? So we have taken from 10 till 18. So 10 is the lowest limit of first class and 80 is the highest limit of the last class. So in progress we'll see why we have taken so. Now, while calculating standard normal variate, for each x values we have to calculate standard normal variate. But these two classes, the first class or the x class limit of x for the first class, it was 10. We will not calculate Z or standard normal variate. For also for the last class also, we are not calculating the Z value. So actually we will be calculating the standard normal variate Z from the second value in the table. So in the table, the second value or the second given value is 20. What we have taken is 20. So for 20, we will be calculating the standard normal variate. We know that for 20, it will be standard normal variate will be what? 20 minus x is 20, x value is 20, 20 minus 44 divided by 12.5. So it comes to around negative 1.9. So this will be our standard normal variate value for x being 20. So likewise, we have to calculate the standard normal variate for each and every values which is given as in the first column. So for h being 30, what will be our standard normal variate? It will be 30 minus 44 divided by 12.5, and it will come to around negative 1.12. Likewise, we will be calculating the set or standard normal variate for every given value. We will have the values as like this. So we have values which are negative and positive. Am I right? So for 20 we have 1.92. For 30, x being 30, we have standard normal variate as 0.32, negative 0.32 in fact. And for 50, x being 50, we have 0.48. For x being 60, we have 1.28. For x being 70, we have 2.08. And we know that we will not be taking standard, or we will not be calculating standard normal variate for the first first value of x and last value of x. So for that, we have left blank values here. Okay. Now the next step is to calculate area from table of this standard normal variate using the standard normal table. So let us see what will be the values. Problem, or if you are doing a problem, this is not necessary. This should not be there. You can skip this step. But for the time being, for making you understand what happens here, I have plotted these values, plotted the standard normal variate values in a standard normal curve. So we have to calculate, or we have to find out the area under curve for each points. Say for example, for the first point, that is negative 1.92, the standard normal variate or standard normal table shows the value 0.4762. So from 0, right, this 0.4762 is from 0 to this particular point, from 0 to this particular point. So this is 0.4726. We have to find out standard normal variate and area under curve for each standard normal variate. So the next standard normal variate is negative 1.12. For negative 1.12, we have negative 1.12. Say this is it, negative 1.12. Okay. So the value is 0.3686. So again, we know that from this point to 0, it is 0.3686, and next point it is negative 0.32. So for negative 0.32, again we will be looking into the standard normal table. It is 0.32 and the value is 0.1255. So from the table we got the values, and for every other values we will be finding out the table value or area under curve for the values. So this will be the values 0.1844, 0.3997 and 0.4812. So if you look at these points, every point or area under curve is from 0 to a particular point, right? From 0 to negative 1.92, from 0 to negative 1.12, from 0 to negative 0.32, and from 0 to 48, then from 0 to it is actually positive 1.28, and from 0 to 2.08. This is it is 2.08, and this is 1.28. Okay, but what we need is area under curve between these values, right? We need for example, our first class interval is from 10 to 20, then next one is 20 to 30, and we have not find out any standard normal variate from for 10 and for 80 also. For 80 also we have not calculate any standard normal variate. We will consider this 10 as infinity, and for 80 also standard normal variate as infinity. So what we are supposed to do, we have supposed to do to calculate the values or for the area under curve, which will be the probability between these two values, that is from infinity to this particular point, right? This particular point means which one? This one, because when x being 20, the standard normal variate, it is negative 1.92. So we are supposed to calculate the shaded region, right? Area of this shaded region. Now how to calculate the area of this, how to know what is the area of this particular shaded region? We know that infinity, or from 0 to infinity, the value of the curve or area under curve, it is 0.5000, and we also know what is the table value, which is from 0 to negative 1.92, right? From 0 to negative 1.92, we know it is 0.4726, right? So for getting this value, for getting this particular remaining value, right, remaining area, we have to deduct these two values. So the common thumb rule which we follow when we fit a normal distribution is that if the standard normal variate is of same sign, we'll deduct it, and if standard normal variate is having two different signs, right, one positive and one negative, when it comes to this point, right, we have negative 0.32 and positive 0.48. So finding out this particular area under curve, we have to add the both, because it is lying in the both side of the mean value, right, from the 0, right? So the thumb rule is to deduct the standard normal variate or area under curve for the standard normal variate which is having same sign, and add the standard normal variate the area under curve of standard normal variate which is having two different sign. Okay, so let us see what happens. So like this, we have to calculate the area under curve between these values, right? One is the area which is shaded in green region, the other one is which is shaded by the purple, now which I have shaded. Again we have to calculate the area under curve of this from negative 1.12 to negative 0.32, and again we have to calculate between these two values, right? So having two different signs, one is positive and one is negative, right? Here only we have to add the area under curve. In all the other cases we have to deduct the area under curve, right? This is just an explanation of the method, why we are adding or why we are deducting the table values. This is just to give you an idea. This can be skipped. You can skip this step in writing or in doing this fitting of normal distribution. So area under curve, or for area under curve which is found from the table values are as follow, right? We had area, as I said, we will take infinity, that is 0.500 for 10 and for 80 also, and we have area under table for negative 1.92 as 0.4726, and we have the area under curve for negative 1.12 as 0.63686, and all these values we have calculated from table value, which we have already discussed. Now we have to calculate area for the interval, that is interval between from 10 to 20, right? From 10 to 20, that is the value between 0.5 and 0.4726, and we will write the area for interval at the center of this particular point, at the center of the values, or between these two values. Okay, so remember that. So how we have already discussed how to calculate the value or how to calculate the area under curve. We have we have to deduct, since this is on the same side, right, on the same side of the curve, right? So the value will be what? 0.500 0.5000 minus 0.4726, it will come around to 0.0274, and we will write that value between these two values. Okay, next is we have to calculate the value or interval between 2 to 20 to 30, right? So that is again having same sign, negative 1.92 and negative 1.1, right? So in this case, what should be done? We have to again deduct, right? So we have to deduct 0.3686 from 0.4726. We have already seen that in our curve, right? If you have any doubt, you can just rewind and see why it is done. So this value will be 0.1040, and next is between 30 and 40, right? Between 30 and 40, again here we have two negative signs. Again we have to deduct it, since it is on the same side of the curve. We have to deduct, right? Here also the value will be what, 0.2431, and we are writing in the middle of it, right? Because it is the area for the interval between these two values. Next, when we take the next 2 points, it is negative, and it is having two signs, right? One is negative, the other one is positive. Negative 0.32 and positive 0.48. So in this case only we have to add these two values, right? Why we are adding it? We are adding it because the standard normal variate for these two values is having two different signs. One is negative, the other one is positive. One is negative, the other one is positive. So we have to add these two values, right? So when we add 0.1255 and 0.1844, we'll get what, 0.3099, and it should be written in between these two values. And next, again we have to calculate the interval between. So this was between 40 and 50. We already calculated 30 and 40. So next is between the area under curve between 50 to 60, right? So 50 to 60, again we have two positive values. The values are positive. These two are positive standard normal variate. So again this case we have to deduct, right? So we have to deduct 0.1844 from 0.3997, right? So the value will be what, 0.2153, and here also we have to deduct, right? This will be 0.0815, and one more deduction is needed from 70 to 80. So we have to deduct 0.4812 from 0.5, right? So we will get values as what? Value as 0.0188. 0.0188, right? So we don't have any value at the which is same as in 0.5, and here also for 0.5 we don't have any values, but we have values for the intervals, right? From 10 to 20 we have 0.0274. From 20 to 30 we have 0.10440. From 30 to 40 we have 2431. We have the area for the interval 40 to 50 as 0.3099, 40 to 50, and 50 to 60 as 0.2153, 60 to 70 as 0.0815, and 70 to 80 as 0.0188. Okay, this is what we consider as what, the probability, right? Probability of getting, or probability of x being between these intervals. Now we have to calculate the theoretical frequencies. For calculating theoretical frequencies, we have to multiply the this particular values, this particular probabilities with the total number of frequencies. We know that the total number of frequencies is 200. We have to calculate, or we have to multiply 0.0274 to 200. We'll get the values as follow, right? So the value will be 5.48. We could round it off as 5. So our first frequency or theoretical frequency will be 5. The next one, it is 20.8. That is, when we multiply 0.1040 into 200, we will get 20.8. We will round it off and take it as 21. And next we will have 48 point, that is 0.2431 into 200. We will get it as 48.62. so we will round it off to 49. Then 0.3099 into 200, we will get it as 61.98. we will take it as 62. And we have, and here it will be 3.76, and it can be rounded off to 4. And we should see that whether our calculated theoretical frequencies, which we have calculated now, is at par with the total number, right? We should not get anything which is or we should not get total which is greater than the total grand total of frequency, which is 200. So let us see. 16. So when we add, we get 200. So it is correct. So this is our theoretical frequency, and this is how we can fit theoretical frequency for a normal distribution. Hope it was okay and fine. You got an idea about how to fit normal distribution. This is the same thing we have to follow when we have inclusive class intervals, right? If you have inclusive class interval, the thing which we can do is to make it as exclusive class interval by you know how to make it. But again, if you have a inclusive class interval, say for example, instead of 10 to 20, suppose we have the values as 10 to 19, and we have 20 to 29. We have to first convert it into continuous variable or continuous class interval by deducting 0.5 from the lower limit and adding 0.5 to the upper limit. Then you calculate what is our central or midpoint, take it as x, and follow the same step which we have followed here. We will get the answer. Okay, so hope it was fine. If you have any doubt, you can comment it. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.